Rachel.
And I'm Kinda.
And we are the founders of ReConnectEd to Life. We hope you've had an awesome weekend, and we are super excited that you've joined us this evening for our launch party. We've got lots of great giveaways and some special guests who you'll be meeting in a few minutes. But first, we'd like to tell you a little bit about our company. First, a disclaimer. This is for informational purposes only, and this is not intended to diagnose or offer any medical advice of any kind. ReConnectEd to Life is all about redefining what it means to be self-centered. We want to do away with the idea that being self-centered is somehow something that makes you a selfish person or not caring for others. And we want to completely turn it around to an encouraging message that being self-centered is a way to live a positive life, especially when you want to accomplish personal goals, foster more meaningful relationships, and connect with our community.
We're raising the awareness of the vital connection between true self-care and optimal living. And when we talk about self-care, what are we actually talking about? You might think it means having a cocktail at the end of your day to unwind, or getting your hair and nails done, or buying yourself an outfit. And while those things are enjoyable and make us happy in the short term, in the long term, they leave us feeling dissatisfied and looking for other ways to send that signal to our brain to make us feel that we're happy.
Okay. Kinda and I have narrowed down 4 fundamental practices that, when done consistently as a lifestyle, will ultimately begin to make you feel better on a regular basis. These practices are called the 4 C's of self-care. They are eating well, sleeping well, regular exercise, and devoting some amount of time, even as little as 10 minutes a few times a week, to meditation, prayer, or just sitting still and focusing on your breathing. These activities send sustainable, positive messages to your brain that will ultimately lead you to live a life full of motivation and inspiration. And when you are motivated and inspired, you send ripple effects to everyone around you. You are a role model for your children, your significant other, your coworkers, and your community. You might as well be a good one. We thank you so much again for joining us this evening, and now let's welcome our first guest and give away some cool prizes. Okay, our first guest is a network spinal analysis chiropractor. She owns Beyond Chiropractic in Marietta. She has been a powerlifting coach, and she is a nationally ranked power lifter as well. Please welcome Dr. Vanessa Gale.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. We are so happy to talk to you about self-care, especially because you're juggling so much in your life. You're not only a business owner, but a powerlifting coach and also a mother. So tell us, how does self-care play into your regular routine?
So without taking care of myself, sleeping well, eating well, exercising regularly, I get very bogged down if I notice when I'm not doing those things well or consistently. So I always have to re-check in and say, what am I missing or what am I not doing? Because without those things, I can't deliver my goods to the people that I'm serving on a regular basis.
Right, and that's the biggest message that we want to say. Self-care is not selfish. You have got to take care of yourself first in order to effectively take care of the people that you love. Out of all of them, eating well, sleeping well, meditating, exercise, what do you think you do really well, and what do you think you could do a little bit better job of?
Okay, I think I do a really good job of eating well and exercising.
Mm-hmm.
Sleeping, it's not always the easiest when you have a toddler who's still breastfeeding.
Or a business. I have realized that this past week, just launching this, I'll lay in bed and, my mind is going crazy of all the things that need to be done. So sleeping has already become to be difficult for me.
And especially when you live with your business partner and you're thinking about those things sometimes together, or you're thinking about how can I what do we need to do? What do I need to do? What do you need to do? And how do I delegate? And you're like, yeah, thinking of those things late at night, and you're like, what do I need to do tomorrow? And what do I need to do next week?
Right.
So it's a constant juggle of, when do you find the time to do those things? And a lot of times for me, it's at 11 o'clock at night. And so I have to restructure my day to look at it at a different time of the day.
What about your sitting still, meditating practice?
So I don't do that as well as I could. My best time, when I meditate or when I sit still, is typically when I'm getting the type of care that I provide. So when I take the time to lay on the table and disconnect, but also reconnect to myself, disconnect from the external and all of the other people and the media and things, that's my time that I can see myself doing those things. Otherwise, I don't typically meditate.
And I can also say, I actually received network spinal chiropractic care for that purpose. Because I know when I go there, I'm going to be sitting still, focusing on my breathing on that table for at least 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And so I will make my way down there just specifically for that. And it does change my whole day and the way that I function and the things that I can accomplish.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
What I really want to know about, though, is what we talked about, because you had a powerlifting championship and that went sideways because of a really poor night's sleep.
Absolutely.
So tell us about that.
Okay, so there was this competition last year. It was the Georgia State Championship, and I was having an amazing training cycle. I was going to hit these monstrous PRs, which means personal record. I was going for actually personal records on my second attempts, and my third attempts were going to be even larger personal records because I was just on the up in training. I was doing so well. And so, I have a young child, so I was like, oh, let me get a hotel room the night before so that I can get some really good sleep, because I know sleep is important the night before an athletic event. And what happened was in the room next to me, there was actually a domestic dispute happening that started at about 10 o'clock at night. And it was, not only did I not sleep, but I was now had this anxiety and fear for this woman's life. And for my own life, if I knocked on the wall or went over there.
About it.
Yeah, so I, called the front desk, and then eventually they had to call the police, and it was an awful night's sleep. I hardly slept at all, and then the next morning I felt tired.
What time did you have to get up?
6, because weigh-ins are at 7, and lifting starts at 9, and so I have to refuel and get weighed in, and then be ready to lift and perform. And my first attempts were there, all my second attempts were there, but my third attempts were not. Were not there because I was exhausted.
Yeah. And so do you have another one coming up soon?
Yeah.
When is that?
It's going to be February 10th, so very close, about 4 weeks from now.
So how does your training and self-care, do you step that up when you have something specific happening?
I do. I really step up my water intake and make sure that my diet is on point so that my performance and my weight is where it should be. Because I do have to make a certain weight to be in the weight class. So sometimes, typically I'm below my weight class. This year I'm a little above, but I'm proud of that because it's muscle mass. So I just have to cut a little bit of water. But yeah, so I definitely changed my diet, and I just clean it up a little bit, and try and get a lot more sleep.
Yeah. Awesome.
Throughout training too.
Very good. So tell us, what about for Beyond Chiropractic? What events do you have coming up?
So our next event is going to be a body breath workshop.
Okay.
That's going to be next month. I don't have the date yet, but we will send it out. We're going to be doing a bunch of health fairs in February as well.
And I've also done the body breath workshop, and that goes back to the meditation, prayer, or just sitting still. When you are focusing on your breathing, amazing things are happening.
Right. The emotions come in, you're allowed to experience them, release them, whatever has to happen. to allow your body to heal, and you don't hold on to those things and cause tension in the body.
But carving out a specific amount of time to do it is key. Yeah.
And I like what you said about, you need the space to allow those emotions to come up so you can, kind of let those go. And yeah, that's really important. I definitely want to come to the breath workshop. It sounds really amazing.
Cool. Well, will you help us give away our first raffle?
Absolutely.
Okay, what do we have over there, Kinda, for sleep giveaway?
We have our diffuser and Serenity oil.
Awesome. All right.
All right.
Who's our first winner? Oh my God. It's a trick jar.
Amber Higgins.
Woo! Amber! You win a sleep diffuser and Serenity essential oil by doTERRA.
Awesome.
All right.
Enjoy.
Thank you so much. Yeah, just put that anywhere.
Okay.
Thank you, Vanessa.
Thank
Good
you.
to see
Thank you so much.
Have a good night.
Thank you. That's awesome.
All right. Who's up next, Kendall?
All right, Lindsay Prater. Lindsay, come on.
Hey, Lindsay.
Hi. So glad you're here.
Thank you so much for coming. And thank you so much for hosting this space.
Yes.
We are at Lindsay's space, Jitterbug Performing Arts, just by the way, with this awesome stage. So thank you so much for
Yes,
letting us do this.
we couldn't obviously do this without you. Thank you so much. So Lindsay, we're happy to have you, talk today too. So Lindsay Prater is the owner, obviously, of Jitterbug Performing Arts and co-owner of Steambug Junior Maker Space. And she's a mom of two, and she and her husband have lived in Smyrna for about 9 years and loves Atlanta and everything it has to offer. And her passion is children, working with children, creating with them, dancing and singing, and so that's amazing. I mean, we know that you do amazing work and in Smyrna and around with Jitterbug, and we're really glad to have you in the community. So thank you for being here.
Thank you, guys.
So we want to talk to you about one of the 4 C's, nutrition, and we'd love to hear your story and have you share with us a little bit about your family. You're a mom of 2, and just share with us your philosophy about nutrition and your eating habits, and tell us, a little bit about that.
Sure.
And where you came from, where were you before with nutrition, and how did you make that transition?
Yes. So in college, I guess when everybody kind of goes through their college days, and money's tight, and so I was eating what ramen noodles and all the normal college kid stuff. And pretty much since I can remember, like in high school, I used to sleep like all the time. I was working a lot and doing a lot of theater, all of which I loved, and I was still getting good enough grades, and my teachers just kind of let it happen because I was working all the time. But once I got to college, I was still sleeping, like sleeping through classes, and was really struggling. I always wanted to nap, and even though I was busy, go, didn't matter what I was doing. I couldn't watch TV because I just fall asleep. And it got to be the point where it was kind of embarrassing because I would be in a class, like a small, intimate, like 10-person round circle class at like 10 a.m. after a good night's sleep, and I would pass out.
Wow.
And it was embarrassing. It was so mortifying. And so I just kind of started this, I guess, thinking about what I was eating and putting on my body, and then my mom saw a doctor, and they mentioned to her that she might have celiac disease, and that it was kind of genetic, and that she should get her daughters tested. But I didn't have any money to go through all of that, so I was like, well, there's no harm in just kind of taking gluten out of my diet for a couple weeks and just see what happens.
Right.
And so I did, and I just kind of did my own research and found that it really took about 6 weeks to kind of get it fully out of your body. And I was pretty strict on that, and I was very fortunate because one of the families that I babysat for, they actually didn't eat any gluten as well. And so she was really helpful and was able to help me understand and be able to read labels for exactly what I was looking for, because it doesn't just say like gluten on the box.
Oh, right.
And this was like 10 years ago when it wasn't
Right.
really as marketed as it is now.
Yeah.
And so she would kind of help me go through different labels and how to book tickets, and so it was very, very helpful. That was great. And by the end of that 6 weeks, like I felt like a different person.
That's awesome.
It was an incredible difference. I wasn't sleeping in classes. I didn't need to nap anymore. I could stay out late with my friends and then still be fine in classes the next day. It was a total lifestyle change.
Wow, that's awesome that you were able to make that connection, and you know you made that change, and you know could see that made an impact right away.
It was huge.
Yeah.
And it just got better and better. I mean, within a couple years, like there was no turning back. And by that point, if I did have like an accident where there was some kind of cross contamination or whatever, I had an extremely upset stomach, and it kind of put me away for like the rest of the day.
Yeah.
So kind of my body, like once I got rid of it, it was like, all right, like for real, no more.
Yeah.
And so since then, I've been like completely gluten free, and that was a tremendous lifestyle change. My husband, about 5.5 years ago, also decided to stop eating gluten too, because our household was pretty much gluten free anyway. The only thing he really had to take care of was his lunches at work. But he actually has an autoimmune disease, and it like really improved his lifestyle as well. And then when my daughter was born, we were nursing, and she was having extreme pain, and nobody could figure out what it was. Like, it wasn't colic, it wasn't this, it wasn't that. And finally, she had a bloody diaper, and they were able to take out dairy. And so she just never like occurred to me, of course. But you know, in the sleep deprived couple months of their first month, you know, so we did that. So I stopped eating dairy when we were breastfeeding, and she was, you know, back to normal, back to happy baby. Or not back to, she's finally a happy baby. And then once we were done nursing, I tried to reintroduce dairy into my diet, and it was terrible. While I removed dairy from my diet, I ended up losing a bunch of weight, and I just felt, I mean, even though she was waking up at all hours of the night still, and we were still nursing and still doing crazy baby life, working another toddler, I had more energy than I had had in so long.
Yeah.
And so that was another like, oh my gosh, like I feel so great right now.
Yeah.
And so that like kind of coupled with and then when I tried to reintroduce it, I was like, let me just have a little bit, you know, see how it goes, and it did not go well. And so that was kind of it. And so she also still has a milk protein allergy, but my son always struggled with constipation. And I guess my daughter was like 6 months old, and so we were like, well, let's just try to take dairy out of his diet. And that was it. Like, he did not have trouble since at all. So, I mean, it was like a bad, like constant, like they were wanting to have him on like medication every day, and I was not wanting to do that. So, that was a super easy lifestyle change for us. And then my husband followed suit with his autoimmune disease. It's been, so we're just like kind of a gluten-free dairy-free family, and it helps in so many ways. A lot of times people will ask, like, it's hard. I mean, it is hard. Dairy is harder than gluten, but there are so many different options now at the stores, and that make it more convenient. So you don't have to make everything yourself. The Instant Pot is like my best friend. I love the Instant Pot. That helps too.
I don't have one, but I know a lot of people love them.
Everybody
They
loves
really
the
swear
Instant
by
Pot.
them. Yeah, they love their Instant Pot. I'm gonna have to get one.
It's awesome, and just for busy lifestyles, it was crucial for me.
Yeah.
So
And what you are saying, the story is exactly why nutrition is so important to us, and why we are using it as one of the 4 C's, because you are saying you've changed it and you feel better.
oh yeah,
And
night and day.
And when you feel better, you do better, you treat people better, and ultimately our community is stronger.
Yeah.
And so I love that story.
Yeah, your story is really amazing, because I really don't think that a lot of times people put that connection of I'm tired. That connects to nutrition. That has everything to do with their nutrition. And I think if we could stop for a moment and really just become intuitive and aware, you know, like you said, you made those changes and felt better, and there is a big connection between inflammation. You said your husband has autoimmune disease, and nutrition as well. So,
And not with him, and with mine it's a lot more like stomach related, and I feel terrible or whatever if there's an accident. But with him, it is crazy. I mean, he will have like red patches, and his knees will swell up, and I mean, it's a visual. It's overnight. It's really crazy. So it definitely affects every part of your body. And I can tell, like, even though we are completely dairy free, if we we have a few busy days and I'm still eating gluten free, but I'm having more like processed food or more sugar. That it's not that I feel nearly as bad as I do when I used to eat those that way, but it is still a difference. You feel,
Right.
yes, you know, yeah.
Well, because you're in tune with your body, and your body gives you feedback right away.
Oh yeah.
But if we are eating, so many processed foods and so many things, and we're not really in tune with our body, we don't get that feedback, or we don't make that connection
Right.
to that feedback that our body is trying to give us. So yeah. But nutrition is a game changer. It really is. It's a life changer, and that's amazing that you were able to put that together, and you guys were able to for your entire family.
Yes.
You know.
It has made a huge difference
Yeah.
for me and for my kids. It
And
really has.
we also don't expect everyone to go
No.
gluten-free.
Or
everything out of their
dairy-free.
pantry, because
Right.
that's not how we make changes in our life. We start by making small changes. Little bit adds
Baby
up to a
steps.
lot. And so just the awareness of it is all we're wanting to bring tonight. We're not saying, go throw everything out and be like Lindsay. But, start to think about it.
Mhm.
Start to make the connections. You want to do a raffle?
Sure.
What do we have for nutrition, Kinda?
We have
Oh, is that a spiralizer?
a spiralizer and some meal prep.
Veggie
And
spiralizer.
a Sprouts gift card.
$25 Sprouts gift card.
Yes.
Can you fit your hand in the jar? Try. Let's see. Oh, no. Okay.
I'm determined.
Let's see who the lucky winner is.
I win it.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Nina Guyan?
Nina Guyan.
All right,
Yay!
Nina. Enjoy.
Congratulations.
Make some veggie pasta.
All right. Thank you again, Lindsay, so much for being with us. We appreciate it so much.
Yes. Thank you.
Alrighty, our third and final guest is the physical education teacher at Teasley Elementary. He has been a teacher in Cobb County for 19 years, and he was recently named Cobb County Elementary Physical Education Teacher of the Year. He's also been named Teacher of the Year twice already, as well as the NFL Play 60 First Down for Fitness Teacher of the Year. And he owns Way to Play Sports in Smyrna. Please welcome Eric Kaminsky! Hello. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
And before we go any further, I forgot to mention one little part of your resume. Somebody's going to be on a specific Dancing with the Stars soon.
Yes, stars. I think that should be in quotes.
Dancing with the Stars, Smyrna. When is that?
It is Saturday night. It's at 8 o'clock at the Jenny T. Anderson
This
Theater.
Saturday?
This Saturday night.
Awesome.
And,
Do you have your moves down?
No.
Some of them.
No.
Let me just see a name count.
I don't want to give away too much because it's quite.
Just
I
a
want
little
to
feet.
we're doing some Fortnite dances in there.
Oh,
We're doing I don't want to give away too much. So we're trying to get kind of everybody involved in the community to be really excited about it. So it should be interesting if nothing else.
Yes.
So
Well,
I'll
good
do
luck.
that. Thank you.
Good luck to you.
And my partner, T. Yasmin, she is clearly the star in this whole thing. She's teaching me more than I could have ever learned.
We
So-
are Griffin Middle
Yeah.
family,
So
so
Mr.
unfortunately we have got to vote for Mr.
Yes.
Gillihan, but we secretly are
All
hoping
right.
for you as
Thank
well.
And,
We just
and
want
Grace.
some-
And I was gonna say, great. I would. You'd almost be wrong not to. So I get it. Yeah.
Obviously, we want you on because you are such a pillar of the community when it comes to exercise and the way that you engage our youth.
Sure.
And we want to know how exercise and self-care affected your own life. What's the journey that brought you here?
Sure. Yeah. So I guess exercise has always been a part of my life. I grew up as a fairly competitive athlete, and I always say if it had a ball involved, I played it, and if it had something to do with sports and competitiveness, it was always something that I was interested in doing. And as I got older, I realized I had a certain talent with athletics, and you get to a certain point where you start to realize what you enjoy. And I realized that I loved athletics, and I love sports, and I love being competitive, and I really, really love kids. And as I was going to college, I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life.
Yeah.
And I knew that I wanted to go to college, and I knew that I wanted to play sports in college. And I was lucky enough to run cross country in college and play soccer. But I also realized that, hey, you know what? I love kids. I love them, and I think it's an opportunity for me to take the things I'm very, very passionate about and to kind of combine them. And the path to me was to be an educator and to be a physical educator and to try to impact kids the way that role models and coaches and teachers that I had impacted me. And that's kind of how I kind of see things, is how can you make a difference in life for other people. And for me, it happens to be through being healthy and being fit and kind of instilling values both on the field and off the field.
Yeah. Tell us about Way to Play.
So Way to Play kind of grew from nothing into something, which is kind of a neat thing. It started with my own kids. I've got an 11-year-old son and a 6-year-old son, and it started with my older son. And being a teacher, we had summers, and we had summers off, and you can only do so much during the week, and we would go to camps and do things like this. And there was really nothing out there that kind of hit that target of kind of a sports-based, fitness-based, activity-based camp that was something that I really wanted to be involved in, and something that I wanted my son to be involved in. And really there was nothing around this one area that kind of fit that mold. And I said, you know what, with the connections and the people that are around me and with the talent that I feel that I could bring to it, we started the Way to Play Sports, and it's just been a really fulfilling and a really promising thing, and something where we reap the benefits of seeing kids smile and kids active and kids being happy, and we just do our best to try to be a pillar of the community.
Yeah.
And kind of everything we do. And yes, it's a business, but we look at it more as kind of a family atmosphere.
Yeah.
Because we are working with kids, and when kids come to see us, they are part of our family.
Yeah, and that was part of the draw to want to have you here too, because we talk about self-care in our own lives, but I'm also really interested in bringing self-care practices to our youth, because we know it's harder to change the older that we are, but if we start, ground level, fundamentally changing the way kids think about the way that they take care of themselves and incorporating exercise and sitting still and nutrition and all of that, then we're setting the stage for them to live a more motivated and inspired life.
Yeah, I agree. I'm sorry, go ahead.
And not sitting still in front of Fortnite.
Not sitting still in Fortnite.
That doesn't count.
Yes. And it's funny you say that, because leaving the house tonight, my boys were Fortnite and playing. I was like, get off. But that's why, for me, being an elementary school teacher and working with young kids is because, when you're 5 and 6, it doesn't feel like exercise. It doesn't feel like work, and it's play.
Mm-hmm.
And I also don't feel like we give kids enough time to just play. Like, everything is so structured, everything is like, okay, we've got to do this and this and this. And there's a lot to be said about just free play, and there's a lot to be said about exploration and just, hey, here's things, and just explore. And and a lot of times we as adults, we learn so much from kids, from watching them just play, and things that we maybe never even thought of that they kind of teach us. And I think that's really kind of in that educator role, is our role is to educate, and our role is to coach. But I think more importantly, it's our duty to listen and to guide and to help and just make sure that we're being that role model for those kids and setting that example.
Yeah.
I think we can really get back to that too,
Sure.
to getting out there and playing with our kids and being active with our kids, and it doesn't have to be exercise,
Right.
Go for a walk with your kids, go for a hike. That stuff's awesome, and it's definitely gives us a good connection with our family and our kids too when we get out there in nature.
And that's what we talk about, when we talk about exercise. We're not talking about joining a gym or doing CrossFit 3 times a week. We're talking about moving your body in some way every day, whether it's going for a hike or, part of our quiz is, what is the equivalent? Vacuuming or playing with the dog
Or mowing the lawn.
All of those things are moving your body, and just that you are doing intentional activity is what we consider exercise and part of the 4 C's.
Yeah, and I make the joke all the time as kids, they'll run through a wall for you if you ask them to. And if you could get them to if you can get them to just get on that journey and really enjoy that at an early age, then it just becomes a habit. I mean,
Yeah.
you're setting the habits of positivity and exercise and movement.
So one thing that kind of tickled me on our conversation the other day when I was asking you what parts of self-care, could you do better at, or and the sitting still part was one, which we're going to do soon. We're going to
Yes.
have a little bit of a guided meditation
You'll
so
get
you
your
can
chance.
get your little
Yes.
sitting still in. But what I wanted to hear you tell everyone is, as far as nutrition goes, what's your little weakness that you like to indulge on every evening or about every evening?
Right. So ice cream is I love ice cream. It's my go-to, and Ben and Jerry's half-baked ice cream is, to me, the best thing in the whole wide world.
Half-baked is your flavor.
It is my flavor, and my wife, I know she loves me because whenever she goes to the grocery store, she brings back a pint of half-baked ice cream. So,
do you have a favorite kind of Ben and Jerry's?
Ben and Jerry's flavor, anything?
Probably fish food.
Or
Or Cherry Garcia.
Yeah.
Of course,
Because,
of
you know.
course.
Yeah.
Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
The musical side
Shout
of
out
it.
to the
Yeah.
Grateful Dead.
Yeah. How about you?
Yes, I have a very specific one that I discovered very recently called the Tonight Dough.
Oh yeah.
With
musical
Jimmy
side of
Fallon.
it. Yes.
Oh
Yes,
my
actually.
God. I
Yeah.
love it so much.
Yeah.
So we get a pint of those. And I let the kids have it, just so I don't eat it all.
Right.
But
Yeah. But it's a balance.
And
I
it is a
mean,
balance.
And for those that don't do dairy, they do have a lot of dairy-free options now that are really amazing.
Really?
Yes, yes,
Yay,
dairy-free.
Lindsay. There you
Coconut
go.
milk, right?
Not a
Yes.
moo is like so good.
What is it?
Yeah.
Not a moo.
Not a moo?
Okay.
Oh, I don't know.
Shout out to
Okay.
Not a Moo.
All right,
It's
not
like,
a moo.
it's like the
Awesome.
Sopranos of ice cream. Not a move. Yeah.
Tim, do you think your hand is going to fit in the jar?
This jar right here.
Yes.
Okay,
I
let's see
think-
our,
Do-
I
Yeah.
our exercise.
I'll help you.
giveaway.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Okay, yeah. Exercise giveaway.
Oh, resistance bands
We
and
got
yoga
here.
mat. Look at
How about
that.
that?
Resistance band, yoga mat, and a cool glass water bottle.
Love
All right, Eric.
Okay.
Who's
I'll
the lucky
tilt it
winner?
and pull, and let's see what we have. Oh, here, I'll pull this one here. It looks like Heather Creighton. Is
Heather
that
Creighton!
Heather!
She's a big fitness buff. So
Awesome.
congratulations, Heather. You're a winner. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank
Stay
you.
here.
I'm
You're
not
not going
going
anywhere. You're going to sit still and close your
I
eyes.
love this. I cannot
All right,
wait.
Vanessa, Lindsay, come on back up. You can grab one of these pillows, or if you want to sit on the floor. We're just going to have ourselves just a little
I love it.
quiet time. People get so worked up when it comes to meditation and like, is there a proper way to meditate? Is there a specific pose? And you don't even have to call it meditation. If it's prayer that you prefer, you can do that. Or if you can just sit still for 10 minutes a few times a week. Just go by yourself. You can go, if you have kids, go lock yourself in the bathroom. Go sit in the car and lock yourself in the car. Just sit still for 10 minutes. So we're going to do this, okay? Everybody inhale and exhale. We're not going to do it for 10 minutes, by the way. You don't have to watch us do this for 10 minutes. We're just going to do a short 2-minute meditation, but just inhale and exhale and just feel your body loosen up. Feel all the tension of the day go away. With every inhale and every exhale, let it all go even deeper. Inhale and exhale, just focus on it. many people these days walking around half dead. They have their eyes open, but they don't really see. They're not looking with the eyes of understanding that we get to be alive on this earth in the scheme of things for a very short period of time. The fact that we even exist is something to marvel over every day of our lives. And don't get me wrong, we understand that life is difficult and it's full of challenges and hardships that cannot be predicted or avoided. We suffer these same obstacles. We know because we know, not because we know better. But the way we choose to react to these things will definitely make or break how we experience life. Whether we experience a life where we're just trying to go through the motions and get by, or whether we experience a life connected and grateful for the one life we have with the people who mean the most to us. We really invite you to continue to join us as we support one another by consistently practicing the four seeds of self-care. And together, let's get reconnected to life. So now we have one last drawing, and that's our meditation drawing. And what do we have, Pinda?
We have a really awesome book called Unplug. I'm going to let you hold it. These are all our reminders to meditate.
Unplug and just breathe. And then we have a cool salt lamp, so you can set a little nook of your house or the bathroom or the car to sit still and be quiet for 10 minutes. And I'll tell you, if it wasn't for sitting still and being quiet, Kenda and I would have never come up with Reconnected to Life. That's where the magic happens. That's where the ideas come. So take some time and do it. Okay, who's our winner?
All right, here we go. My hand isn't in there either. Okay, let's see. And the lucky winner is Missy Wilkie.
Missy Wilkie! Yay! Congratulations! All right. All right, Kenda, what do we have coming up for Reconnected to Life?
Well, we hope you guys enjoyed your evening with us tonight and that you're inspired to follow us on our journey to better self-care for ourselves, for our community, and for our global family tree. Please go on to ReConnectEdToLife.com and follow us to get connected and sign up for our weekly Self-Care Sunday newsletter. Also, check out our upcoming events. We have, on January 27th, we have our Self-Centered Women's Group begins. And in honor of Valentine's Day, we have our Connected Workshop, Self-Love Session, and who better to fall in love with than yourself. And in March, we have our Reconnect Retreat, which is a day dedicated to diving deeper into the four seeds of self-care so that we can really see the impact that it can have on our day-to-day lives with any situation or the relationships that we have. So, and now it's party time.
Every party needs a toast. And we want to shout out again, Lindsay, thank you so much for hosting. And Vanessa, Eric, Marisa for helping, Henry Brooks on the camera. Henry, give us your YouTube channel. Let them see your face. Say hi to the audience.
Hello.
Henry Brooks in the house. All right, guys, you guys are such a bright light in our community, and we can tell that your self-care practice makes all the difference in your success. And we are so grateful to have you here in our community. Ready? Be self-centered on 3. 1, 2, 3. Be self-centered!